Hello YouTubers and TCG fans, this is David here from Cardbound, bringing you the last part of our card fight tutorial. Now in the first two parts I covered how you use the mat, the cards, the grades and what they can do and where they belong, and how triggers work and how every card works with their own little unique effect. Now in this third part I will be using the two previous videos to show you how a duel works. Now I don't have an opponent right now because it might get too confusing at once, so I'm going to do this on my own against a virtual opponent, or like an imaginary opponent, however you want to name it. So let's get started. You start off having your Vanguard down, facing down. Your deck comes here after you shuffle it, and you draw 5 cards. So I'll draw 5 cards quickly. There we go. This is your hand. Now, what you can do is, with this hand, is in your first turn, you'd be like, oh, there's a card here I don't like, or damn it, I have too many of one grade. You put them back, like for example, I'll do this. I'll put 2 cards back in the deck. You grab your deck. You're allowed to shuffle your deck then. My advanced skill in shuffling, isn't really advanced. Put it back here and you get to draw 2 cards again. There you go. So now you have your hand again. There we go. Now after you've done this, you decide over rock, paper, scissors, you flip a coin, you roll a dice, whoever gets to go first, or whoever gets to call, like you get to go first or I get to go first. So if I win, I can just say I want to go first or second. After that happens, you grab both your Vanguards, you say stand up, Vanguard. There you go. After this happens, they do the, like for example, let's say we go first. So we have our hand right here. We draw a card. There we go, we add it to our hand. Now it's a grade 0, so obviously we start with our 1. We put it on, you say I ride. There you go. Now, not every starting Vanguard has an effect. You have those standard ones, but this one has an effect called Forerunner, which means if something rides it, you get to move it to a rear circle. So I would always say do it like this, unless there's another tactical reason why you shouldn't. And if you're the first one, you're not allowed to attack. You can always place more of grade 1s if you want, but given our hand, it wouldn't be really smart to do that, since, well, we can't. So we say turn end. Their turn, they do the same thing, and they attack us. Now let's say they attack us with 7,000, they attack us with 8,000. And you check your hand. You can block it if you want, because you have loads of 5,000 stuff. But let's say for the sake of this scenario we won't. So we let the attack go through. They say okay, trigger check. They check for their trigger. Nothing happens. There's no trigger. We go like, okay, damage check. There you go, you show it, and you put it here. Now, do mine, and this is very important, face up. Because there's an effect, I should have it in my hand soon, and I will show you what that effect does. So let's say they have another rear guard that's going to attack you, and you take that attack as well. Because it's your first turn, 2 damage, what's 2 damage? There you go. Oh, good opportunity. Critical trigger. So we give 5,000 to our Vanguard because, well, we don't have anything, and the critical goes to waste though because we're not the ones attacking. So it still goes here, but it's plus 5,000. Should there be a third attack, they would have to face against 12,000. So that would have been a bit harder for them. But you know, we'll leave it at this. So they attacked us, they did some good damage to us. Turn end. Now we start the turn, drawing. That's very unfortunate. Then, here we go. We ride. Now, Blaster Blade, in this case, has an effect. His effect is, when it's placed on either the Vanguard circle or the Rearguard circle, I can counterblast to remove a unit from their field except their Vanguard. And it has to be front row. Yes, front row. So, what I do now is, I counterblast. Now, counterblasting works like this. You flip face-up cards face down. Now, mind you, you can't flip them back face up for a counterblast. Counterblast is face up to face down, and it stays that way. There are cards though in several decks that say if you hit an attack, you can put it back face up. So you know, it's a very useful effect if you have like a counterblast heavy deck. But you know, so there we go. I use its effect. He has to retire one. Of course they'll be pissed because they put like a really good one, and I'll be happy. Then I will say, okay, now I call. And you call 2 persons to the rear. And then you attack. When you attack with this one, it's just 9,000, nothing more. Well, in this case, it's an effect. Because he's a liberator, he gets plus 3,000. So 12,000. And they'll be like, okay, I won't guard it. And they pull a trigger, unfortunately. So they give the 5,000 to their Vanguard, which now has 13,000. Very tricky. But you know, we can deal with that. Okay, so they took 1 damage. Now I attack with my Vanguard. There we go. That's 9,000 plus 5,000, 14,000. 1,000 above it. They go like, no, I'm gonna guard it. And they guard it. So that means I need 1 trigger. So because they guard for 18,000. And if I get a trigger, I get plus 5,000, which makes this attack maths. Anyway. I'm not going to go into the maths too much because I'm just trying to explain the basic rules without sounding too stupid. I need 1 trigger to go over it. So now I've attacked, he guarded. Now I need to pull a trigger. Now just for the sake of it, I'm going to put a trigger on top of it. So now I do a trigger check. Oh, looky here, a critical trigger. I give all the effects, and make sure you always say this, all the effects to my Vanguard. Because you can also do like, okay, you know, because he's not blocking, critical to him, 5,000 to him. But in this case he's guarding, so I have to give everything to my Blaster Blade. Which means the attack goes through, and he has to take 2 damage. So you did some good damage, that's like 3 damage in 1 turn. And then you have your 3rd one. Now, because he pulled a he pulled a trigger, he did plus 5,000. So he is now on 13,000 still. I can't attack it with him because he's only 10,000. So instead of that, I could use him to attack a rear. Now, if I attack his rear, like for example here, should I attack my own rear? For example, like let's mirror image this. And he would attack my rear, and I can't guard it. He would go away from the field to the drop zone. So yeah. Then he attacks again. And let's say now, for the sake of arguing, you know, he's coming in with this grade 3 super attack, and I need to block it. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna perfect guard it. Now, what you do when you perfect guard it is, you go like, they attack, they launch the attack on you, they say like, oh, I'm gonna attack you for 20,000. You'd be like, oh god, that's a big attack. Can't just block that. Perfect guard. And it says also in the description, discard a card from your hand. So I'm gonna discard a card from my hand to the drop zone. His attack doesn't go through. So he pulls his triggers, he can distribute it to all his rear guards if he wants to. His Vanguard attack is not coming through. Then he attacks you again. He attacks your rears. You're like, I don't really want to give up this rear because I really like this rear. Okay, I can intercept. Rear guards, grade 2s can intercept for each other as they can intercept for their Vanguard. So that one goes over there. He gets saved. Next turn, you stand and draw. You draw your card and then you ride. There we go, you ride. Now, let's say this back face up, just for the sake of the point I'm gonna point out to you guys right now. He has an effect. It says, put this one, counterblast 1, and put him in the soul. Look at the top 3 cards of my deck. Oh. And put 1 on the field, rest it. And put the rest at the bottom. So let's say I'll just put this one down. And I put them in any order I want at the bottom of my deck. There we go. Now, And now I have my grade 3. So let's say I'm gonna attack with my grade 3. He has an effect. He says if you attack the Vanguard, he gets plus 2,000. Okay, that's 13,000 at your Vanguard. He says no guard. Okay, twin drive check. There we go, first check, heal trigger. He has 3 damage, I can't use it, but I can give 5,000 to the others, because this one is already attacking and it's going through anyway. So there's no point in giving him more attack. Then, second check, nothing. And that's basically how the game runs. I'm gonna quickly rig this game. Put some great ones here. There we go. There we go. Now, to create a certain scenario as well, let's say I am on 4 damage. Now, because I'm on 4 damage, and this is something that's also recent, not quite recent, but still, it's called Break Right. My Solitary Liberator Ganslot is a Break Right. Basically what Break Right means is you write another grade 3 over it and it gets an extra effect. So let's say we use my Alfred and we say, okay, Break Right. Now what happens is, we'll read the effect. When a gold paladin runs this unit, choose your Vanguard, and that unit gets plus 10,000 attack until the end of the turn. Choose up to 3 gold paladin rear guards, and they get plus 5,000 until the end of the turn. So, break writing this instantly gives this guy 21,000 in total. Now, I'll give 5,000 to him, 5,000 to him, and 5,000 to him, because that's the effect. And then I can use his limit break effect, which is for every Liberator rear guard, he gets plus 2,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Liberators, another 10,000, which makes this a 31,000, plus the 7 when I attack. 38,000. Now this might seem an odd number to you guys, like a very big number, but not to brag or toot my own horn, I have done 49,000. That's my current record, 49,000. So, yeah, that's how limit break works. You have several limit break effects that say like, okay, you have to flip 3 cards, you have to remove 3 cards, and then he gets plus 10,000 and plus 2 criticals, and he can attack again if his attack misses. So there's loads of different effects, really cool effects as well. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. You try to get your opponent to 6 damage. This is counterblasting. If you flip it down, that's counterblasting. This, and then you have one more thing, which is a soul charge. Now my deck doesn't do this. Gold paladins don't really soul charge, but it's like the logo is like a V, and then you see the card going in and out. So soul charging is either from the hand or from the field, and you move it into the soul of the Vanguard. This process that I've just really done, like this process, is soul charging. Then you have one other effect, which is soul blast, and soul blast is, as you can guess, you remove them from the soul like that. That is soul blasting. So yeah, that's kind of like the basics of Cardfight Vanguard. I showed you like a basic funny duel with myself. Unfortunately, I won and lost at the same time. Very mixed feeling with this duel. But yeah, if there's something I haven't covered or you still have questions, please put it in the comments. I am more than happy to answer all of your Vanguard questions. I'm also going to upload some duel videos I did with my girlfriend, because she's also into Vanguard. And we can both show like different styles as well in our duels, as you will see. I'll try to use as many different decks as possible so I can show you different styles and different effects. So yeah, thank you for watching this 3-part tutorial. Like I said, if you have any questions, please do ask. I love nothing more than to help people get into Vanguard the same way I do. And if you like our videos, please do subscribe. I got some new boxes coming in this coming month, and some whole new videos. I also got a friend coming over, so we can show you loads of Magic the Gathering and Cardfight Duel. So yeah, it should be a very active month. Thank you for watching my tutorial video, and I'll see you in the next video.